Losing a stock is part of every single game of Smash.
Not if a timeout happens.
Fine. If you take a stock, you have a brief moment of silence and peacefulness, just waiting for your opponent to respawn, before he comes back fully invincible trying to kill you and there's nothing you can do about it. Or is there? I'm C5 from the Beefy Smash Dudes, and here are the best strats, tips and tricks for what you can do in between stocks. Okay, now some of you may think, right, what's the big deal? You take a stock and they just respawn, that's it. But hear me out. A lot can happen in the moments between losing a stock and getting back into the fight, whether it's in-game or outside the game. There is some stuff that can increase your chances of winning in the upcoming stock. Let's start off with some raw facts. There are 3 ways to lose a stock: blast-offs, star KOs, and the painful to watch slap against the screen. Dying to the blast obviously takes the least amount of time, making you lose the stock instantly. Hitting the screen is the next fastest thing, taking 1.5 seconds for your character to die. And star KOs take the longest, with over 2 seconds. But there is one more way to die that might take even longer. If you get gimped, but kinda still hope to recover and try as hard as you can, but in the end don't make it. That usually takes quite a while and gives your opponent plenty of time for... well, we'll get to that in a bit. After dying, you'll respawn on the revival platform. The spawn points of those platforms vary for different stages and depend on how many players respawn at the same time. The platform disappears after 5 seconds as long as you don't move or attack. Unfortunately, not even taunting is possible. The color of the platform indicates how much time is left before it disappears. After leaving the platform, you are granted another 2 seconds of invincibility, but that did get changed a bit in Ultimate. If you wait on the revival platform, you will have less invincibility time, down to a minimum of 1 second. So, you just took a stock. What's the optimal way to spend those few seconds you have until the match continues? The most obvious answer for some characters is to charge stuff like Limit, Ink, DK's Punch, or projectiles like charge shots, needles, Pac-Man's fruits, and so on. You might not always want to fully charge them though. First of all, the flashing might remind your opponent during the match that you have a big threat prepared for them. If you only almost fully charge it, you might be able to catch them off guard. And secondly, not fully charging it still allows you to use the charge itself for B reversals and wave bounces later. Other characters don't have anything to charge up, but what they can do is prepare traps or projectiles in a way that they go off at a later point in time, threatening to hit their opponent after their invincibility ran out. Snake's grenades and C4 are a perfect example of that. As your opponent respawns, you throw them between you and them, use the ledge for invulnerability and the grenade's explosions to get back up safely. Here are some more similar setups with other characters. Remember that there is counterplay to any strategy in Smash. These setups may only work a few times before your opponent figures out a way to punish you for them, so try mixing them up as much as possible. Mega Man Sticky actually sticks to invincible opponents, forcing them to shield or dodge when it goes off later. Peach and Daisy can pull as many turnips as possible in hopes of pulling something good. With Robin, if you only have one charge left of neutral B, side B or Levin sword, you could use it up completely. That way the attack recharges while you wait and you can catch the item without anyone bothering you. Some characters may be able to spawn items that are valuable to their opponent too, like Diddy's banana peel. Place them on the other side of the stage, so your opponent has to choose between attacking you or getting the item while their invincibility runs out. Of course, only if giving them that item is worth it for you. Wario can unstale his more important attacks by hitting his bike with less important ones, staling them instead. Snake can theoretically do the same by hitting his grenade with his C4, staling the C4 and therefore unstaling one other move a bit. But honestly, who would want their C4 to be stale anyways? So this is almost always not such a good idea. Okay, but some characters have none of that. Nothing to charge, no traps to set up. For those, the strategy is pretty simple. Run and try to mix up your defensive options after every stock. Try to avoid using double jump just because you are scared. Getting knocked off stage without it could mean trouble. Stay grounded and stay on stage. Thinking of going to the ledge to gain some invulnerability yourself? Well, be ready to get ledge trapped, this ain't melee. Maybe off stage to stall? Rather not, this ain't brawl either. The stage can definitely play a big role here as well, since it is obviously easier to run away on Town and City than on Yoshi's Story. If you are in kill percent against characters that don't have a kill throw or kill combo out of a throw, like Fox or Sheik, you could decide to just stay in shield for those 2 seconds and take the potential grab. Many players are quick to throw out smashes or other kill moves when invincible, since they can't get punished, making rolls and jumps risky. So instead, you could simply take the grab and start fighting back afterwards when your opponent is vulnerable again. As for the player respawning, you should try leaving the platform as soon as possible so you get the full 2 seconds of invincibility. Pay close attention to any traps your opponent may try to set up. You'll need some experience to be able to counter all of these setups. Also, remember how your opponent acted after previous stocks. It might give you a clue on how they are going to try avoiding you this time, allowing you to read them more easily. You could also go straight for a killing blow since you can't get punished anyways. Now, aside from the in-game strategies, there are also a few things you can do outside of the game to prepare for the next stock. Especially when it comes to tournament play, your mental state plays a huge role. No matter if you're the one respawning or the one waiting, take a deep breather during that 1 second break, it helps a lot. Relax your mind for just a bit, maybe shake out your fingers or dry off your palms. Or if you are the more active type and feel like you really need to keep your hands on the controller and keep your mind in the game, do some tactical movements with your character to stay as warm as possible. It all comes down to your preference and what works best for you. Now, there's obviously one more thing we have to talk about: taunting and mental warfare. If you really want to try getting in your opponent's head and tilt them, taunting is one way to possibly achieve that. Other methods include teabagging, shield tilting, ducking, or even just standing completely still in the middle of the stage. Taunting or disrespecting your opponent can give you a psychological advantage, it just depends on how stable of a mentality they have. Some people are not bothered by taunts a single bit, others get furious. Just note that you also put yourself at risk of seeming like a douche. While psychological warfare like that is usually not against the rules, some people do despise it and you have to know if it's worth for you getting hated on or not. Sometimes taunting can put more pressure on you than on your opponent, since you just called them out and have to prove yourself now. The taunt to get bodied combo is something many players have experienced in the past and it is painful. Speaking of painful, we have a new shirt in our shop. Thugness is now available on Redbubble during March only. We paired up with the brilliant artist Gad the Thief to create this awesome design. The link is in the description. Make sure to subscribe for more Smash content. As always, thanks for watching, see you soon and stay beefy.